Hello, Shante Brown Sugar Talks under Black Unicorns. Don't y'all love this Black Parade song? Oh my god, I love it. It is like, first off, I love it because it has the word parade. If anybody know me, oh my god, procession. Teaching my kids the word procession and the way they would get into a procession, it was wonderful. Oh god, I love them so much. Um, so really that's where my derivative is from. And then when I like listen to the words and like just hear what it's saying, oh my gosh, oh my god. And then oh my god, did y'all see in Atlanta, Georgia? Was it Atlanta? I don't know, but it was in some part of Georgia where they had like these black men that were just like in black. They had their guns and they were marching. And it was like one of the most peaceful protests. You know, like it didn't end with violence or anything like that. Today I want to talk about 6 major types of anxiety disorders, and I say check them now because I've always been a perfectionist. So in school I used to get actual migraine headaches because I was like always like trying to study and stuff, and I perfected getting C's. You know, like even though I was smarter than what I perceived to be, it was just like I was just perfected it. It was like, whatever. And my teacher would tell you, like, I didn't show up for school, so then I have to take, because we used to have this thing at our school where if you show up to school, you don't have to take your finals, right? And I always have to take my finals. And I take the finals and I get an A. But, man, it's like, whatever. Even if I didn't pay attention, I just, like, go in there and write it down and get it over with. It's like I just get an A. But I hated to study and all that different stuff. So, anyway, I perfected getting a C. Okay, so and that will happen with your honest children. Don't always think your children are just like slow or behind or whatever. Sometimes it's just like that's just not what they want to do. It does not mean that they're not smart. It does not mean that they don't care. It just does mean it just means that that's not something they're interested in. If you really ask them why they're not interested, they'll tell you. They'll let you know. Even though sometimes you gotta push for it. Okay, still push, still push, still push. Okay, so anyway, 6 major types of anxiety disorders. That's what I want to talk about today, and how now it sort of like affects our family. Okay, so separation anxiety disorder. Um, I have it too. I didn't know that I had anxiety disorder, the separation anxiety disorder, until I was in Texas and I had it, and I was away from my son. Um, every time I did something, let me see if this is actually a call. Hello. Okay, it's not. Hello. It could be. No, it's not. Okay, so anyway, I was in Texas and I was away from my son, who was in Missouri, and it was like the first time we had been apart since like all this stuff was happening. Even though like my drive home to try to get to him was like probably separation too, but at least I knew I was in the same state as him. I wasn't even in the same state, and so one day I just cried. Like it was just like, oh my god. But that was the day I went to the club and I like danced and stuff, but oh my god, we were in like I cried. It was just like he had a cold sore at the time, and I couldn't help him. I wasn't there to put the stuff on his lip, and it just like I was actually crying because I wasn't there to put it. Like I was crying hard, like I had just lost him or something. Like it was like I didn't even know I had it. I had no clue. I was so sad. It was just like, I mean, it was adults there, it was people there, and the only person I wanted there with me was him. You know, like it's just like I want to argue with him and play fight and stuff. Like it's just like I really, really miss my kid. And so even when he at school, like even though I just like try to find something to do, I really do have to try to find something to do. I like actually want to be like really close to him all the time. Like so I didn't know that. I just didn't have a clue. I did not know. He has it too, like where I tell him where I'm going and he'll be like, I don't care, and it's like he'll be calling for me or like looking for me or whatever, and like, but he's had that for a while. Like it's not like he been a baby kid. All kids really kind of do have separation anxiety, but for it to still be continuing, even if we are apart, like we know that we'll be good apart for a distance, but if we don't know where the other person is, that's a problem. Like it's like if I don't know where he is at all, and I'm pretty sure parents do that too, but it's like it's different. Like He might be at the Boys and Girls Club, well, wherever he at. He might be wherever he at. But he going on a field trip. If I don't know where he at, I start to get that. I want to be there. I want to be looking around the corner, like seeing what he doing or whatever. So that's like, that's just how it affects us. Specific phobia. Um, I don't know. Like, I don't have any phobias. I did get a phobia, but we'll talk about that because that's actually anxiety. Is one of them is anxiety. I did not know that was it. So I think that you would probably just certain things you'll be afraid of or whatever. Um, that's not too bad over here. Like, we'll discuss it. Like, we discuss like our fears and stuff. Like, so if it's something about clowns, and I told him about it's this video. It's called "The Way I Am." And it's by Ingrid Michaelson, and she has a clown boyfriend, but she the one that's weird. Like, he's normal and she's weird, and it's like, and she just like telling him whatever, you take me the way I am. And so just little things like that, like just showing them the aspects of, like, even like with different people and different signs and different things like that. Like, he really into like zodiacs and stuff like that. So specific phobias, like, is just like, just even breaking it down that way. Like, any way you can research how to get the phobia away from you, that'll work. Like spiders, I hate when people like so afraid of spiders. They are so good for your garden. They are good for your house too, because they're not coming to bite you unless it's a brown recluse or a black widow. They really don't get not two fucks about you, for real. They just want to eat. And so I love spiders. Like, if we had them around our house, like outside, everything, I love them because they'll keep those insects away. Like, the insects you don't want in your garden, the insects you don't want coming into your house, they gonna chomp them up. Chomp them up. Social anxiety disorder. I really don't have it unless it's something weird going on. So, like, the whole following thing, that's like a problem for me. The whole stalking thing, I'm pretty sure everybody would be, everybody would have anxiety if people were following you and you didn't know why. So yeah, the social anxiety disorder, social phobia, I really don't think I have it. I think that's onset by, because I also talked about two ways that anxiety is set. So anxiety can be like something that's psychological, and it can also be something that's problematic anxiety. So I think my social anxiety is more problematic. Like, if somebody's repeating me or trying to follow me again, trying to steal my designs, then different things like that. Of course I have it. And it's onset by problems. It's not onset by anything psychological, like, for real, for real. Panic disorder, I get that after the social disorder because I don't react. At the time, I'm a professional person. Like, I have been a professional for most of my life. And so to be in a situation where you want to beat the fuck out of a motherfucker, like, where you want that whole East St. Louis shit to come out, y'all remember that shit? Like, you were going to the neighborhood, the girl don't know you, so she got to keep trying you, and you just beat her ass one good fucking time. That bitch will leave you the fuck alone, whether you win the fight or not. All you want to do is beat the fuck out of her. And so it's like, now you can't really beat the fuck out of people. So then I started to get a panic disorder because I be thinking, I want to hurt this bitch. Like, in the inside of myself, I really be like, I'm finna fuck you up with this cart, bitch. I don't want a case. I don't want to lose my child. I don't want to go to, it'd be like all that stuff that go through my mind. So all that shit will hold me back. And then I have a panic disorder, But I really do want to smack the fuck out of some of y'all. I'm not even playing. I be want to fuck you up. I'm talking about beat the fuck out of you with a fucking ham. I'm not fucking playing, like, take a fucking bone off the goddamn shelf and fuck you up. I'm not even joking. Like, I just be want to think of, bitch, I'll beat you with a fucking bag of frozen chicken. Stop fucking following me in the goddamn grocery store. I be so fucking pissed, y'all. Like, and I be like, hi, I be like so fucking fake, but I be want to I be want to smack her fucking face off and be like, what the fuck are you following me for? You can't do that. So in the end, I end up having a panic disorder because I'm like, I don't know why they following me. I don't know what this is. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what's going on. And I did this too. Like, I went over my neighbor house because I was telling her about, and I be telling people, like, I'm serious. Like, I'm not joking with you. I'm going to fuck you up. Like, I went to tell my neighbor. I was telling my neighbor next door, I was like, it was so many times my son woke up and smoked. I don't smoke. I make sure we live in a healthy environment. So my son, let's go tell her. Y'all, when I went to go tell this lady, I was so pissed. You hear me? I was so pissed. Like, I couldn't even get the sentence out. I started beating up I started beating up the damn swing outside. I mean, that shit pissed me the fuck off. And it's like, I'm trying so hard not to fucking beat the fuck out of you right now because I done told you like so many fucking times, don't do that shit to my, it just be like, man. So I don't know if it's a panic disorder, or if it's like, or if I need anger management or something. But I mean, I really be trying to manage the anger. Like, I don't be really want to hurt nobody because I don't know what kind of anger I got in me. Like, and that's the truth. Like, I don't know. Like, these people been doing so much shit to me. I don't know what I got in me. I don't know. I actually do sometimes feel like I want the life to leave out of somebody. That shit scare me. So I really don't. I don't try to react in anger. I kind of try to hold it in. When I had a panic disorder, then it's more like I just try to put it in the air. Like, I just put it in the air. Like, like maybe I need a boxing bag or something or whatever. But I really do be want to fuck y'all up. I'm not playing. I really do. I want to rip out the fucking windows at the fucking grocery store and beat the fuck out of you. And I'm talking about beat your ass all the way to your fucking car. Like, I be so fucking pissed. And so, yeah, when I come home and I release it, or if I remember it or whatever, like how you just disrespected me, I really get mad about it. I do. I get so mad because I'm like, you don't know shit about me. You out here fucking following me, videoing me, doing all kind of shit. I don't want none of that shit in my life, So, yeah, that shit I be pissed. So, I don't think it's a panic disorder. It's more like a reaction. So yeah, I guess it is a panic disorder. I'm gonna say it's a panic disorder. It's, that's what it is. My son, he get it too sometimes. And that's the hardest part. Is like, now my son got this shit. Agoraphobia. I had that twice. I had to pray to get it out. Like, agoraphobia, where I couldn't even get out the door. Like, that shit debilitating right there, because it really ain't nothing blocking you. Like, even though I don't care how educated you are, how smart you are, whatever, I think that shit is crazy right there. Like, I mean, the first time, 3 days, it took me 3 days to try to get out the house. I'm talking about every time I touched the door, I was afraid to actually step my foot outside. So I'm telling y'all really have to give props to people who say they've been through something and then they got over it or whatever, or they got through it. That shit is hard. Like, I just had to keep praying. I had to keep praying so that I can go outside and just like get food so I can feed my son. So agoraphobia, that shit is serious. I also had it when I had my surgery, and my skull got infected or whatever, and I had to go back to the hospital, and I just felt like St. Louis was like really dirty. And it wasn't nothing from outside. It was actually wintertime. It was less chance of me getting another infection or anything, because what's outside, we already know. Out here, we know the cold gotta break for them to kill the germs, for the germs to die. So yeah, the cold was breaking. It was freezing out there, and when I finally got outside, I just sit on the steps. And I had to sit on the steps and breathe because I didn't want to go in the grocery store or anything, because I just thought it was like I was gonna get another infection or whatever. And that's not actually what gave me I don't know if it just wasn't closed up right, or it was the bandages or whatever, but that's just what happened. And then I had to the wound was actually open, so when I got it and it opened up, they just kept the wound open. So I was like, oh my God, so it was like one of the grossest things. I mean, it was just like, I knew that it was germs out there, and y'all, I mean, if you really do listen to my show, I got issues with germs. Is that a phobia? I could have a phobia, but I'm not a germaphobe. It's like, I actually do think that you also need to be exposed to some germs so that you don't kill all the germs. So then, because if that's the situation, if everything is overly clean, then when you are exposed to germs, your body won't be able to react to that. Especially children, they still need to be around some things, some of the germs, so that they can build up immunity to them. But for me, okay, so I could have that phobia anyway. Generalized anxiety disorder, and now for that one, a generalized anxiety disorder, I don't know. It is. It's just like a disorder, and like I said, mine is sometimes more about problems and people than it is about just anxiety. Like, it's just like, it's not a psychological thing. So I mean, I think it's okay for me to be angry after everything. I think it's okay for me to just have a lot of, whatever towards whatever. But yeah, I don't know. That's the 6 major types of anxiety disorders: separation anxiety, specific phobia, social anxiety disorder, which is a social phobia, panic disorder, agoraphobia, generalized anxiety disorder. And please listen to what people say to you. If you are actually having an anxiety attack and people are telling or blaming other things for whatever, I just learned this today in therapy. So I called the crisis hotline, and the girl was like, I was like, the fraternities and the sororities, all this different stuff. I'm talking to her about it. She's like, maybe you should have stuck to what you knew. It's like, that's why I joined the sorority that I joined in the first place, because that's what I knew. They were actresses. Like, I joined because the two people that asked me to help but join the sorority, they were actresses too. They were actors. Like, they were actually techies. And they were white girls, but they were the people that would talk to me and have conversations with me and whatever, even in high school, that's just how it was. So the color wasn't a problem. It wasn't nothing about the color. It was just the fact that they were like welcoming to me. They were nice to me. They were kind to me. They weren't shady. And so that was it. But the girl, she was like, you should have stuck to what you know. I was like, I don't know you. Like, I went on that campus. I didn't know no black people. Like, that was some real shit for me. So anyway, you have to watch the people around you, because they'll start to cause you anxiety too. And a lot of y'all is part of like stealing your energy, because that's what they do. They take your energy, because that's the wrong thing to say at the wrong time. You see, and so today I talked to my counselor, and she was like, nah, I don't care what you did, it does not warrant somebody doing that to you. Like, it does not warrant any of that. And I was like, you're right. That's why I was like, I snapped on her and hung up. I was like, no, bitch, listen to me. Like, I was like, no, that really got to me, because I'm just like, why do people actually try to make way for the dumb shit that they believe in? Like, it's just like, especially black people, like, it's like you actually are giving me excuses instead of just saying, you know what, yeah, they shouldn't have done that. That's not something that should have been done to you, whether you agree with them or not. Like, that's not something that they should be doing. Like, this is enemy type shit, so yeah, I was like, nah, baby, no, that's not, but yeah, she said, you should have to stick to what you knew. Like, no, love, I didn't know y'all. I didn't know hate for myself like that. So yeah, that's what always makes me think they are transferring the cause somewhere. They got some kind of script they looking at or whatever. Or like they trying to help me. They can't help me, because it's like y'all already brainwashed. Like, you have already been brainwashed by your own situations, like by your own. I don't know if it's community or what, but y'all already brainwashed. So that's not my cup of tea. That's not my forte. Yeah, so she just kept talking to me like she knew me again. Like, it's like, I actually need a little counseling or somebody to talk to right now. That girl straight up said, you should have stuck to what you knew. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I don't know you. Like, y'all have ridiculed everything about my blackness. Y'all have actually victimized my blackness. I'm being victimized by black people. Not only white people, but black people too, on a racist campus. Like, oh my God, like, how much more of this can I take? So anyway, it was too much. So that's all I'm saying. It's like, just be careful, because those people, all those situations, like, you would think it's just like your family that doesn't agree, but it's actually blatant, like, racism against their own race. It's like, if you don't feel it, then it's not part of you, then it just don't feel comfortable to you. So you have to actually start to create boundaries and stuff. And I was listening to David Banner, and David Banner was like, you don't have to say anything about it. Like, you don't have to. And I feel like you actually do. You do. Like, how are we going to have a revolution and not look at everything inside of the pot? Because, like, some things will help us fix other things. And this is what I learned from teaching in the classroom. If I was the bully, the kids would actually take my side. If I'm the authority figure in the classroom, the kids take my side. And they do that inside of the United States too. That's why white people always take the cop side, because the cop is the authority figure. But if me as the authority figure tell the kids, wait a minute, no, you will not bully them. I'm going to do what I have to do, and you will not bully them. You will either give me, or you will either support or whatever, but you won't bully them. If I've already said something to them, you don't have anything else to say to them. I take up for the person that's not third. If a kid isn't third, I say, no, we not speaking about that person because they not here to speak about themselves. Not all the time, but sometimes I do. So what I'm saying is, if you the authority figure and if you take the side of wanting to hurt or harm or cause another group of people to be oppressed, then everybody else is going to start to kind of follow the same thing, the same pursuit. Because they all want to fit in. They all want to know what it is. They're going to try to figure out the tricks and different things like that to feel represented and seen and all these different things. Okay? And so that's what our culture has been doing. It's almost like we want to straighten our hair. We wanted to fit into the jobs. We wanted to make the money. We want to do this. We want to feel as if we were part of whatever. We didn't want to be ridiculed or put down or anything like that. It was like in those awful times, in those times of uncomfortableness, we tried to make ourselves more comfortable to be around. And that's not something that we needed to do. Hello? Hello? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Okay, thank you so much for calling me. Thank you. Have a great day. Okay. All right, bye. So yeah, I think that our culture has like actually taken on that phenomenon. And during school, it was just like that was the time where I did not know, because like I said, I grew up in a black home. And my mom did, she straightened my hair, and we got perms and all that different stuff, but it wasn't like but our blackness, my grandmother instilled that in us, because we grew up in East St. Louis and we went to a black school, and it wasn't like it was ghetto. Like, we learned a lot of etiquette, and my grandma, that was taught in our house too. Um, etiquette and cleanliness and all that different stuff. So, um, it was just, that's what I knew. So to know anything different or outside of that's something that I struggle with. Like, it just actually, like, and it wasn't like white people were the great white hope or anything like that. They didn't do that. It's just like that's what it was for us. So I don't know. I think that sometimes we all put those anxieties in her. But anyway, I gotta go because I got things to do. But anyway, it's Shantae, Brown Sugar Talk, Under Black Unicorns. Be careful who you have in your life. Be careful who's seated next to you. Okay, you don't need all that stress. You don't have to take it.